Welcome, everyone. I'm here with President and General Manager of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Thanks for being here. Well, thank you for having me. Just in case some of our listeners aren't familiar with some of your achievements in the past, let's just give them a quick rundown. So, you bought the Cowboys back in '89 for $100 million after creating a huge oil drilling empire in the '70s. You won 3 Super Bowl titles. Forbes magazine stated your own personal net worth is $5 billion, while your Cowboys are listed as the most valuable NFL team at $2.1 billion. Those are some impressive stats right there. Jerry, people have described you as the most recognizable entrepreneur in NFL history, always finding new creative ways to make money. Can you just give a couple of examples of what has separated you from other owners and organizations? Well, the first one to come to mind is back in '95 when I made one of the riskiest decisions an owner could have made by signing a separate and independent licensing agreement with Nike. At the time, the NFL was sponsored by Reebok, and merchandise revenue was divided equally among the 32 teams. Even though at the time, Cowboys apparel contributed to over a quarter of sales in merchandise. So we signed a deal with Nike where we controlled the distribution of our own merchandise. This was a risky decision, and I took a lot of heat from the commissioner at the time, but it worked out in the end. Jerry, you've made business decisions that have innovated professional organizations for years now. Can you describe a recent decision that you've made that others have followed? Well, recently we partnered with popular women's apparel companies such as Pink, Victoria's Secret, and Peace Love World. We found that 44% of our fans are females, so we jumped at the opportunity and ran with it. Putting our logo on some of the Pink's merchandise was a huge success, so we went out to explore other options as well. We then created a line of apparel with Peace Love World with the phrases, "I love Sundays" and "I am Dallas" on some of their panties, hoodies, and tank tops. This idea spread to other organizations outside the NFL, and in 2013, Miami Heat signed an agreement with Peace Love World, and they started their own line with phrases, "I'm a champion" and "I am Miami" on more merchandise. Jerry, outside of your impressive creative and innovating business decisions, you have been characterized as having great relationships with players and coaches. For example, Coach Garrett has said that you two have had a great relationship. Yes, Coach Garrett and I have a great relationship with each other. Business is business, but in order for an organization to operate at a high level, we need to have trust in one another and build a sense of commitment with each other. When I talk to Coach Garrett, we laugh and joke around, but when it comes down to business and football, he always seems to listen, which I respect. Jerry, what about your relationship with Dez Bryant, your all-league wide receiver? This past preseason, he got into a fight at practice with another player. Are you worried at all he might do this during the season? No, not at all. Dez is a fierce competitor, and I respect that. Dez is a different player. We all know he lights it up. It's just like a sparkler lighting up on the other end of a deal. Just sparkles. And if anything, it creates some excitement and creates some tension. But that's just Dez. It's his personality right there. I know when it comes to game time, he's not going to do anything to jeopardize our team from having success on the field. As owner and GM, I've learned that you have to act accordingly with different players. Everyone is unique in their own way, and that requires different approaches when communicating with them. Jerry, the Cowboys have been mediocre at best. I know some of the blame has to do with the coaching and player execution on the field. Does some of that blame come back on you? Absolutely. As owner and GM, I'm accountable for everything that happens within the organization, good or bad, but I'm not afraid to take the blame for things that I've done. Every decision I've made in this organization is to help our team. I want what every other Dallas fan wants, which is a Super Bowl ring. I can take the blame for bad draft picks or trades, but the only reason why I've made those decisions is because I felt at the time was the best option in order to have success. We're not managing window women's retirement accounts here. In other words, to compete, I need to think that we need to be aggressive. You need to play the game. You need to manage the game that way. You take some risk. When they don't pay off, they look bad. That has happened. I've had great success by not getting discouraged when I'm not successful. The one thing that I know is that for sure we're not going to get there if you quit. So it's important to me to have the kind of success that our fans want. Well, thank you for your time sitting down with us, Jerry. It's been a pleasure.